Hello, my name is Paul Brunn. Welcome to the channel. This is the first of many car reviews I'll be doing for the BMW Club of Ottawa. And thanks to Otto's BMW for giving me the opportunity to sit behind the brand new 2018 X3 M40i. We are just about to start on our test drive, and sitting beside me is Eric Bergstrom from Otto's BMW. And once the traffic is cleared up ahead of us and pedestrians, we're going to be on our way. This car it's an 8-speed ZF transmission with paddle shifters. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the baseline is without the paddle shifters. You can opt in for the paddle shifters.
Yeah, so M Sport on the base engine would add that in, or the X3 M40i as it comes standard.
And underneath the hood is a 6-cylinder twin turbocharged engine. It is new to this platform.
Yep. Twin scroll, the B58 engine, and the performance enhanced version of that. So the choice becomes go with the X3 30i or go with a much more performance enhanced M performance vehicle, the X3 M40i. And that's the choices we're getting for Canada, though down the line a little bit, the diesel option should appear.
Excellent. So the seats in this car, they are the standard seats, or are these the sport seats that come in this model?
Yeah, kind of funny what's going on with the seats. So the ventilated leather and the air-cooled leather, the ventilated seats with airflow. The side bolsters are different. So we're noticing a subtle difference between customer orders the car with the upgraded seating package or without. Changes what the sports style seat side bolsters feel like, how prominent they are, and if they're adjustable or not. So for somebody who really loves the sports seats, or what they're thinking of as the typical BMW sports seat, it's worth trying them on and a little bit deciding on how prominent that side bolstering is, or how important seat cooling is. Seat cooling's awful nice, keeps you dry. It's basically just pushing air through the perforations in the leather. Perforated leather on its own breathes nicely, but for a long drive, getting out of the car, the back of your shirt nice and dry, feel crisp. It's good. I mean, it can even be used in combination with the heated seats. It's basically a lot of little fans in the assembly that push air through. So just up here.
Alright, so we're just going to experience an on-ramp acceleration onto the 417. Right off the bat, this is an SUV you can actually take to the track. It has a lot of power. It comes with a 355 horsepower engine and 269 foot-pounds of torque. And if you're not careful, you can easily get speeding tickets. The response is quite spectacular. The shift points are very quick, and I think they're marginally faster than the previous generation X3.
Yeah, especially in the sport mode. So they seem to be pushing the gap, or making the difference between comfort mode and sport mode much more pronounced. That's happened in a couple of the newer generation cars, the 5 Series in particular. And so that really shows itself in this, where having those different modes makes a lot of sense, because here's a vehicle, like you said, very much a sports car, sports vehicle, but at the same time, it's practical. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities where comfort mode feels better. There's going to be those moments where you want the performance machine that you promised yourself, and so sport mode really emphasizes that. It changes the visual display. It's a lot more focused on just speed and the gear that's being used. We're in the manual mode right now. Opens up the sound characteristics of the exhaust, which is really fantastic. A little bit more of that de-throttling sound, that crackle even.
And just as a comparison, with respect to the previous generation, this car is 2 inches longer The wheelbase is 2 inches longer.
Yep.
The width is 2 inches. It's 2 inches wider, and it's actually shorter than the previous generation.
Up to down, yep.
So the center of gravity should be lower than the previous generation.
There's a bit of talk about a touch less headroom in the back. I don't find that myself, and I'm large, and I typically sit in the back seat. So it may be there in the measurements, but I don't think you feel it in the vehicle. I think what you do feel, and you tell me because you drive an X3 all the time, the wheels do feel a little bit more out to the corners.
Yes.
CLAR.
It definitely feels more planted.
Yeah.
It feels that it has a wider wheelbase, so when you're cornering, it feels way more planted than the previous generation. Wheels that are on this car right now are winter tires. We are in the month of December, so for the safety for anybody driving this car, it's beneficial to have winters, because the stock tires, the OEM tires that come with this car, are 21-inch summer performance tires.
Okay. Look fantastic. Look a lot like the M550 pattern, though it is technically a different part, I've been told. But yeah, very aggressive looking, modern looking, multicolored, sort of signature.
Sort of a gunmetal looking color.
Yeah, mixing that with a dark silver. So yeah, aggressive, intimidating looking wheels really sort of emphasize the aggressiveness or the potential of aggressiveness that the car has. And look fantastic. So I mean, that's also one of the signature elements of the M Performance cars. The cerium gray being used on the mirror caps, the decorative elements like the kidney grille surround, the decorative elements in and around the fog lights, the badging even. So this is sort of this new niche, this new pocket of the BMW product. You have your regular production line cars, you have your I cars, you have your M cars, you have your I Performance hybrid cars, and you've got your M Performance cars that are enhanced versions of the regular production units, not the full M rebuild or redesign, but way in that direction. And so going full circle, looking back at your beginning of M Division and the M540 and things like that, it's that idea. It's tweaks by the racing division for a regular production car. And there's all the rumors of X3 M, when we would assume that's a whole reworked suspension, weight optimization, more, like probably a proper M engine,
right?
S-code engine. But we'll wait and see what comes out of that.
Yeah, that'd be spectacular. The current X3 M40 is quite a vehicle, and I'd say it's so much more improved in its handling compared to its the outgoing X3.
Yeah, which was a great vehicle, and we did really, really well by that. But I think what you'll find with the new offering is people that would have bought the previous generation X3 and found it totally agreeable, they're going to love the new generation, the 2-liter engine. But when you have a purchase decision that maybe is trying to accomplish a lot of things at once, that includes a fun vehicle, a performance vehicle, maybe one side of the partnership wants that, and the other side is saying, listen, we need a family vehicle, we need something for travel, we need something for the cottage. This is going to do both really nicely and at a lower price point than competitors' vehicles that would aim to do this. You're thinking of the Porsche, thinking of some options there. And there's new competitors to this space. There's Jaguar. Volvo seems to be up more than ever. But I think with the X3 M40i, this is a very BMW option. It's I think it stands on its own nicely. So hug this. This is pretty nice. So we'll stay far right, and it puts us right back on. Same kind of thing. And not to ask you to do too much at once, but you'll notice that the digital display now features map info. I've turned off the heads-up display where previously that would be represented. And so either for the client that has just got in the car without a heads-up display but with the digital display, or if it just doesn't prefer the heads-up display. It's pretty spectacular.
Oh yeah,
You can show it there.
It hugged the corner very nicely.
Alright, I think you should try Park Assistant.
Park Assistant.
Which is what's happening right now. As we're heading down, Park Assistant is looking for spots we could use.
So is there a better place to actually try this?
Then right here? Yeah, probably. So, I don't know. Come around a corner.
We'll go around, we'll find something
Yeah, there's stuff around
the dealership.
So, parallel parking, Park Assistant's been able to do that for a long time. What's new is that it can do parallel parking and stall parking, so perpendicular to the path of travel. I can do it on both sides of the car. And the driver doesn't need to do anything with regard to the brake pedals or the shifter. So previous generation, you would shift it into the correct gear. You would also work the brakes to slow down the process. Whereas with this, all you're doing is pushing and holding a safety button.
So let's try the other side of the building. There should be like a dedicated spot for testing this.
That does make sense, yes.
And there is.
So this would work. If we go basically through the middle, it should pick up the spot on our left side.
Okay.
So, not yet. Keep going. Now we would stop the vehicle. We do have some glare there. So using your turn signal, you're telling the vehicle, I want the one on the left or the right. So let's go for the left. Alright, so now what it's asking you to do is push and hold that button.
Right here.
We're recognizing that we take the responsibility, so we're saying okay to that.
Okay.
Pushing and holding. Feet off the brakes. Just hold that button. Now we do still need to use our abilities to make sure that, you know, an obstacle doesn't roll into our path. We have to use our senses in case there was a protrusion or some kind of
And
when you're done, finger off the button and you're there. So I know we got some glare there. You might want to redo it, but so like if that was a pickup truck and it had a bunch of, you know, strapping sticking out the back, there could have still been a conflict if it was up above the sensor level. So limitations of the system are that it looks into the parking spot about 3 feet. It knows it gets the sense that it has the space, but we still need to be conscious of what else is going on. The way that it showed that little P in a rectangle that direction versus this direction is what would indicate we're doing a parallel park versus what I call a stall park, or like a perpendicular parking maneuver. Especially in the event of the perpendicular parking maneuver, because it's not necessarily looking, you know, I don't know what it would be, but like 7-8 feet into the spot. As it starts making the maneuver, if it senses an obstacle, then it'll basically bail out and sort of say, look, something's changed, something's not right, we're concerned, too close to something, and puts you back in control.
All right, so we're going to try that again, and I'll let Eric hold the camera to actually showcase that I'm not touching the steering wheel. I don't know if you captured that before.
Yeah.
But
do you want to go somewhere where the reflection's less? Or?
Oh, I think it should be good.
I think that's good?
Okay.
All right. Vehicle in front of us. Yeah, just keep going straight at him. Don't worry about it. Yeah, go farther than you think. Now it provides that. Simply the turn signal. Clearing the message to say okay.
Perfect.
And just like that. So where we'd seen that little P rectangle, that could have been oriented the other way, and sometimes it can actually be both ways. So you would simply select what it is you intended, and like we saw the first trial, you know, it could be left side, could be right side, and the car's capable of both. So that's come a long way.
And if you don't know how to parallel park, this is your ticket to being the master. Sorry, there's a neat feature that comes in from the 7 Series called fragrance control, which allows you to get these little modules that you can buy in the parts department, and you put them in the glove box right over there.
So a little cartridge into here. 2 different odors at any point in time. Gives a spa-like feeling to the inside. It is a high quality fragrance. It smells like nice perfume, you know, but you can decide what you do or don't like and load those in, and then it just becomes part of the climate control, introducing a bit of an odor, all adjustable. We'll see here, you can also automatic air recirculation, which everybody's familiar with. That used to be the button for automatic recirculation. Trust the vehicle, so no reason I would take it off of that. But you can also have ionization, which will drop odor particles out of the air, charging particles, which then get caught up in a filter. So like you said, from the 7 Series, we saw it on the 5 Series as well. Still a manual control for all the climate control here, but with a hot button to jump into the more detailed settings. Park car ventilation, that's still there. We can either depart, leaving the fans running to keep the car warm. We can have it set a time to recirculate air, or bring in fresh air from the outside to, in the summer months, help a car cool down in advance of getting there. And also the seat heating or cooling and steering wheel heating can also be set up to automatically activate at certain air temperatures. So we could tell the vehicle that, for instance, 5 degrees centigrade or lower, I would want my driver's seat on the medium setting automatically. So one less thing to have to regulate. You can do this for your passengers, potentially do it for the rear passengers if you have the heated rear seats, and it works also with the seat ventilation for above certain temperatures. And again, that would all tie into the user profile. So in a situation where cars being shared in a family, one driver's settings 2 degree will also cater to the passenger that's anticipated, and vice versa.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
It's nice, right? 7 Series stuff in an X3.
Excellent. All right, and I think, and this is the 8th generation iDrive, I believe? 7th, 8th, something latest?
Well, it's iDrive 6.0.
6.0.
But there's been a lot of subcategories. So iDrive 4, there was many variations. There was, it adopted a graphics chip, the touch-sensitive surface, like the larger knob and the sort of the trackpad surface. That all came in variants of iDrive 4, I believe. Right. iDrive 5 came out. They ran that through most of the product line for a year, maybe 2 years. And then iDrive 6 premiered with the new 5 Series G30, and now it's moving through the whole product line. Touchscreen. Yeah, touchscreen, as you can see. The 3 live tiles. You can actually move the tiles to any sort of orientation you want, or to any order you want. Yeah, more customizable. And then it also adopted the more use of live internet connectivity using nuance voice recognition, using active real-time traffic information, which had shown up previously, but iDrive 6 really pulls everything together quite nicely, and really propels BMW to the front of the pack for in-car connectivity. So the touchscreen is definitely a welcome change, especially it's very intuitive. Yep. Yeah, the placement with the BMW screens being so high up never made for great access and ergonomics for touchscreen, but people do still, again, expect it. You know, most devices you can reach out and touch. The fact that you didn't have that on previous generations, even if it made sense, felt a little clunky. And so now, the person reaches out and touches, that's great. If you want to avoid fingerprints, then you're using the other controller, or using voice recognition. And again, voice recognition better than ever.
And in about a year's time, we should be seeing a new steering wheel. There's right now some production issues with the M steering wheel, but this is a new steering wheel for the 2018 X3. And for likely the 2019 model year, we should see an update in the M line. One of the nice features that I like is a heated steering wheel. And in the new generation X3, you have the button to turn the steering wheel on, to turn the heat on the steering wheel right in front of you instead of behind the steering wheel. So when you press it, you actually see focus. When you press the button, you'll actually see that the steering wheel heating is activated. And one of the other cool features is you have all the controls for your shifter right here, going between Eco Pro, Comfort, and Sport. And there's a nice camera button. It has a super wide angle lens that allows you to see quite a bit.
Yep. That's almost beyond perpendicular left and right.
So just to give you perspective, we're in the parking lot at Otto's, and there's a building. The edge of the building's just to our right, which you can see in the camera, but I have to actually turn the camera 90 degrees to see that building, so it gives you excellent visibility. Hey guys, here I have the two cars sitting side by side. My previous generation X3, or I should say it's the car that I drive every day, but it's sitting parked next to the car I was driving. So as you can see, with the headlights, they have gone with the hexagonal shape for the headlights, and the car also comes with an adaptive grille. So as you can see, when the car needs to be cooled, these grills will actually open and help promote airflow and cool the engine. In the previous generation, you have the round angel eyes. New generation, you have the LED lights and, if I'm not mistaken, the LED fog lights. They are currently sporting the winter tire package on right now, since it is December and there could be snow. Other key differences: an open grille, the Performance brake pads right below, and brake calipers. And the 3D tail lights. And I'll take a closer picture of them in the showroom. And both models, the X3 30 and the M40i, come with twin tailpipes. One of the other fun features is there is a stowage compartment for the shade, or the security trunk liner. So you can actually take this out. So finally figured out how to do this. There is, for this piece right here, there is a button that releases, and there is a neat place to stow it right underneath here if you need the clearance to actually put anything in your truck. And there's actually another neat feature. You press this button, hey guys, I just realized that I did not record a proper ending to my first car review. Please bear with me as it will take me some time to establish flow. Please leave your suggestions in the comments section below. With that, I'd like to give a big shout out to Eric Bergstrom from Autos BMW for going over all the features of the new 2018 X3 in great detail. And please stick around as I'll be uploading some more videos on the restoration series of my dad's BMW. Until then, I'll see you next time on the Bavarian Corner.